this is Tamari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Mercury Retrograde tarot reading for the sign of Capricorn. Now, just to let you know, I'm going to be using the Isis Oracle deck, pulling 3 cards from this. Got this beautiful Oracle deck this weekend, past Valentine's weekend, as a gift from my beautiful boyfriend Rob, so thank you. I also have the Rider Tarot deck that I'll be using to pull further messages. Okay. So as you know, we are currently already in the Mercury Retrograde, so now is not the best time for communicating big ideas, for planning projects or signing contracts, moving location, fixing items, things like that, having big meetings, anything of that nature. Because as you know, communication kind of goes a bit crazy at this time. A lot of misunderstandings. It's easy for emotions to run high as things get miscommunicated and misconstrued. So it's important really that rather than trying to act on something major, that you use this energy for introspective work, for reflection, right? And then once you come out of this space, you'll be prepared and ready to then take action or start planning, okay? So let's get stuck in for you then, Capricorn, and see what messages are being shown to you at this time that will help you with that process. Okay, straight off the bat. So, the first card you got is Pyramid of Light. Step your vibration deeper into love. Awesome. Great energy to kick off the read with. Next you have Power over 7 Scorpions. Power to conjure lower vibrational forces. And yeah, these illustrations are incredible. I love the artist's work. I'll have to read up as to who actually designed them. Okay, and finally you have Scales of Balance. Ancient Tantra of the Soul. Awesome. I really like where this is going so far, but because it's such a new deck, I will be reading from the book to give you insight as to what these cards represent. So let's start then with Pyramid of Light. Okay. As a being growing in significant light, darker energies can become more attracted to you. There is nothing to fear and only more mastery and awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. Here is guidance on the skills you have within you now to deal with any undesired interference. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is now time to end that interference with love and compassion. Okay, so this is really talking about not allowing your shadow self to retaliate to the dark frequencies that may have been surrounding you through a difficult period, possibly recently or in the not so distant past, right? It could be that you've had to deal with some very toxic people and find ways to remove them from your life. So it may be at this time that you're being asked to close out a chapter where there was a lot of negativity in your life. To really look at creating some spiritual protection around you at this time, particularly because, you know, at a point in your life where you're starting to really channel some high frequencies, you're going to be drawing in a lot of narcissists and people that want to kind of feed off of that energy. So it's important that you protect yourself and that you create boundaries, right? So as much as you should be really channeling love and positivity in your life through all areas of your life and giving that back to yourself, you do also need to be aware that there are dark energies around and the importance of protecting yourself against that. Okay, so now read the booklet in regards to Power over 7 Scorpions. So this is really talking about some of the lower frequencies. Not necessarily anything toxic or negative, but just those around you in which you can actually manipulate and use to your benefit. Not in a negative sense, but in terms of actually using those things to work in your favor. Taking something that could seem trivial or negative and using it as a positive. So, yeah, let's just take a look at that for you. So, you are being initiated into the magic of conjuring, to have power to affect lower vibrational forces through your own will and spoken word. You are guided to use this powerful gift with compassion and discernment, with mercy and non-judgment. You can then manage any toxicity in life swiftly and with great effect. Now this is the thing, Capricorn, right? You guys are really good at this naturally anyway. If you have strong Capricorn placement in your chart, this is something that you tend to naturally gravitate towards anyway. You have this incredible ability to really master the self and use your discernment when it comes to managing the different types of forces in your life, the different energies and frequencies that you come into contact with, and understanding that things aren't black and white. While everyone likes to look at things through rose-tinted goggles, you see things for how they truly are. So rather than dismissing anything that may be of a lower frequency or even somewhat on the darker spectrum, you understand the importance and its place in the grand scheme of things, and you can actually use it to your benefit. But as it says, it's really important that you do use your discernment, that you don't allow your shadow to draw you down a dark path, and you use it only for the betterment of yourself and those around you in the most positive and harmonious way that you can, right? So now we'll look at the scales of balance. You are Tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine. The two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power. Presence and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices and blessings of the beloved Isis. Okay, so this is really talking about that masculine and divine feminine, right? The balance, creating balance within yourself and doing the inner work to create healing between the two archetypes, right? That is fundamental to the human experience. Okay. So this card here really talks about the balance between the divine and the feminine, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's weighing out the balance, creating that sense of equilibrium between the two archetypes. Okay, so it's really, really important that you do the inner work, and you do, if you do engage in different ritual practices of your own, whether it's through meditative, practice. If there's specific rituals that you carry out for this work, it's important that you really do that this time, as I feel like there may be some imbalance there, that you're realizing that maybe possibly the divine feminine or masculine within yourself has taken a hit recently, and it's important that you do the healing work to help bring the two forces into balance. Particularly, as I know, like I was talking about this some months ago, that collectively I felt the divine masculine took a massive hit, and it was coming out in all sorts of ways in various different people. We're seeing a lot of jealous energy, alpha male dominance streaks, and all of this kind of shit, really toxic masculinity, which is actually not masculine energy at all, at least not from the divine perspective. It's just out of control. So it was really important that all signs did that inner work to heal the divine masculine, so it comes into balance, so it can be the nurturer, the support, you know, at the aid of the divine feminine. So when the creator energy and the nurturing energy comes through the divine feminine, the masculine is the support, right? And it's the one that can project those ideas and subconscious feelings and thought and manifest them into action, right? So it's really important that you look at what needs healing in terms of this. All right. So let's get stuck in then with the tarot. But this is looking very, very powerful, very strong. This is exactly the kind of spread I would imagine would come up for you, Capricorn, because this is your energy right here. This is you in your, you know, divine state of being. You know, you are the manifestor. You are. I really do feel like in this case, you are being asked to step up as a conjurer and conduit, right? In the magical sense, you know, in practicality. Right? So let's now see what the tarot has to say in regards to these messages. Interesting. Okay. These cards are so light and shiny, they just spin like crazy. Okay. So, alongside the pyramid of light here, in regards to your own high frequency channeling, spiritual protection, and love and support, you have the King of Cups in reverse, so water energy, clarified by the High Priestess in reverse. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, emotionally you've been knocked off center, where normally you'd be very strong, very sturdy, very in balance, not easily rattled, very emotionally grounded. I feel like maybe something regarding, I mean, it doesn't have to be a female as such. It could be a female, a prominent female figure in your life, or it could be someone that has this Empress energy, this abundant, motherly, nurturing energy. It could be a wife, it could be a spouse of some kind. It doesn't have to be a feminine in the traditional sense. But I feel like maybe the loss of a partner, the loss of a relationship, a loss of a wife, whether it's through divorce, and a death, or a separation of some kind. I feel like that threw you off center, and that made you vulnerable to spiritual attack, to being attacked, possibly verbally or even physically, by those around you, depending on how the circumstances played out. If it was a divorce or a separation that you recently went through, or you are navigating through at this time, which is obviously, if you are going through this right now, Capricorn, this is not the easiest time to go through it, I understand. So I can understand why you'd be feeling somewhat off center. But I feel like if people have been attacking you, have been blaming you, shaming you, if you have been through this with someone you perceived as an empress, you turned out not to be, I can understand why that would make you lose your cool, why it would throw you off center, where you would normally be emotionally balanced, you are off kilter, right? Because as I said, as it is shown here, I feel like, the particularly the divine masculine could have taken a hit recently in regards to this. So just take it however it resonates. You know your situation best. So it could be something of that sort of ilk. It may not be exactly that, but something around those lines, I feel, for those who it resonates for. I feel like there was some kind of separation because neither of you were really vibing at the frequency that you ought to be. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was basically a couple here that wanted two very different things. One was on one path, one was on another, and then you realize that. And that brought a whole another situation into being, right? Where you thought you were going along in tandem, you actually weren't. And that created some kind of distance. I mean, I would have to look at this separately to get more insight. As you can see, this is a very basic reading in regards to that. But yeah, I feel like that some kind of separation or loss is what opened you up for spiritual and, you know, possibly verbal or even physical attack. Which is why it's really important that you guard yourself, that you protect your energy, that you separate yourself from those who are toxic, those who are putting you down, blaming you for various things. Of course, it's important to accept responsibility where it's needed. However, that doesn't mean that you are there to be, you know, in the line of fire, right? So do guard yourself, protect yourself. And don't stoop to the level that people are trying to bring you down to, right? Rise above it. Be that beacon of light in the darkness, okay? And that love will come in and that protection will come in. So let's have a look in regards to the power of the 7 scorpions here. Power over 7 scorpions. You have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So this is your energy here, Capricorn, right? Because it's Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Clarified by the King of Wands, so fire energy here, Aries, Leo, Sag. So what it's really saying here is that where you may have felt like you've lost your power, where you've lost your standing, right? That's not necessarily the case. You're just not necessarily looking at it from the right perspective. That's sure, okay, things are not grounded as they ought to be. You may not have the kind of abundance or wealth that you had previously, particularly if you are going through a separation. You may be feeling like in some way you are powerless over a situation, but that's not true. You're being reminded here by showing up as the King of Wands instead. That you have the creator energy, okay? You're the one holding the stick, right? You can manifest anything you want into being at this time, providing that you use your discernment and you use these energies surrounding you at this time positively, right? That you don't fall to the whisperings of the shadow, right? Because you don't want to be operating from this lower base frequency, right? You don't want to listen to the reptilian brain and just retaliate, right? And use dark magic. That's the last thing you want to do in this situation. What you want to do is rise above it and say, actually, you know, I might not be as abundant, or I may not feel as stable and secure and grounded as I usually do. However, I am confident. I believe in myself. I believe in my ability to change my circumstances. I believe in my ability to create and change the situation around me. You know, I have power here. I have authority. You know, I am able to really go after what it is that I want. I'm very passionate about it, you know, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop me. No matter how people try to trip me up and, you know, break me and make me unstable, it's not going to happen, because I have more power than people realize. I have power over myself and the forces around me at this time. Okay. And then to clarify the scales of balance here, so as I was saying, doing that inner work for balancing the divine and feminine energies, doing the healing where needed so that they are singing in harmony and working in tandem. You have Page of Cups here, so water energy, Pisces, Scorpio, and who am I missing? Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Crazy that I forgot that, seeing as, you know, Cancer's in my sun sign. But anyway, and clarifying that, you have the Five of Swords in reverse. So this is what I'm talking about, where your divine masculine may have felt that it's at odds with itself, that it has to portray a certain image of, you know, fighting until there's no fight left, fighting for everything in life, fighting for, you know, pride's sake, you know, to fight against any defamation, you know, of your character, or lies that are being told about you by those who want to see you fall. Anything of that sort of nature. I think you're going to realize in this time that actually you don't have to do anything, that you don't have to fight against all of this negativity, and that actually the best thing would be to do is to walk away. You know, is to understand that carrying the burdens of this bullshit that people are projecting on you is not going to do you any favors, right? Your best interest is to just let it go. Don't let your emotions be rattled, you know. Instead, where you would pour your energy into fighting against the circumstance, why not give yourself, right, some time to heal? Why not give yourself the opportunity for recuperation and to find inner peace, right? You see how the page here is got a cup and there's a fish in the cup, right? You need to give yourself that rather than someone else, okay? At this time, you need to give yourself that cup because you need it, right? You need to heal the two divine forces within yourself so that they're not at odds. You don't have one voice trying to push you one way and another voice trying to push you the other, right? That they're working in tandem. So you have nothing to prove, particularly to yourself at this point. So rather than casting judgment or the need to pick up arms or to, you know, fight until there's no fight left in you, to prove your worth, to prove your standing, just give yourself time, give yourself that encouragement, give yourself that all needed self-care, right? You know, treat yourself, look after yourself, be good to yourself, take yourself on dates, you know, do whatever you need to do to really feel like for once you're being pampered, you're being cared for, you're being nurtured and loved, right? Do that for yourself. And that will really help with creating this balance, okay? Because the divine masculine energy needs that also, as well as the feminine within ourselves, okay? The protector sometimes needs protecting. And that's clear with this coming up here. The love and protection is needed for both sides, okay? You know, both the passive, the shadow feminine, and the aggressor, the, you know, the light masculine energy, okay? So I hope that helps. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I look forward to doing your next reading. I hope this will give you a heads up as to what to be mindful of at this time and how you can better deal with the darker energies that may be at work. So do bear in mind that you do have the power to overcome them. It's just all about how you approach it. So have an awesome week, and I look forward to doing your next video. Bye for now.